What's up, guys? Army-Firedawg back again, 2 in a day, on a roll, but almost getting caught up. Just got a couple more to do. But today I actually have the review of the Aune B1 portable headphone amp. And a quick disclaimer, this thing is awesome. Like, I love this little booger. It retails for right about $200, depending where you go from. But we'll further derive that later on. But first, I like to start with the construction, as all my other reviews do. So, the construction of this thing is beautiful. It's $200, solid aluminum, has a nice leather-esque, I don't think it's real leather, but it's a nice leather-esque material on the back. On the construction side, and it's one of them I really wish it wouldn't have. I wish this was all leather, and I wish it would get rid of this right here. The reason for such is, if you remember my Aune M2 review, that's all aluminum. So when that's together, it sits just like this. They'll kind of scratch against each other, and you've scratched all this here and the back of the DAP. Now, a solution to this is the tour member before the person who was before me put a little small piece of like velour cloth, and he put right here. Fixed the whole issue. I did the same. Worked beautifully. Other than that issue, I really have zero complaints with the construction of this in any regard at all. At the top, you have the source input, volume control, which is very, very sensitive. You have the aux jack. Yep, I'm telling you correctly, where you put your headphones in. On here, you have your battery light indicator. I think that could have been a better job. So the reason for such is this stays green the entire time. It didn't go yellow, it doesn't go red if it's about to die. It's just, I push this, check my battery level, it's green all the time. So I'm listening to it, I've been listening to it for a few hours, hit the button, still says green, cool. A couple minutes later, nothing. I'm like, really? Really? You're gonna do this to me? Anywho, on the back you have your charging micro USB port, and then on this side, you have your volume button, gain switch, or excuse me, this is your Class A switch. And then lastly, on the top, you have the gain stage. For most of mine, except for the Sennheiser HD650s, I kept mine on low gain. If I were the 650s, I would switch that to high, which is about 150 impedance, or anything less than 150 ohms impedance, low gain. Above, high gain. Easy way to remember that, 150. Now, moving on to, I guess, the functionality of it, and it's amazingly easy. It's super efficient. You simply turn it on. It does need to warm up. It takes just a few minutes for it to warm up, nothing big. You can listen to it just right away, but to get that full sound to it that it does produce, give it about 2 or 3 minutes, very similar to a tube amp, to get warmed up. On that note, the sound of this does have a very tube-like sound to it. It's not just the glow, which I even turned it on here so you can see the glow. It had a nice warmth to it. The lower mid-range and the upper bass range had just a very slight increase to it, which I think made it just sounded more musical to me. It is solid state, and then the switches on the side it's cut and dry, on off, on off, on off. Very cut and dry. Couldn't want anything more simplistic. Now the sound. The sound, as I said a little bit in the functionality video, it has a little bit of a warm tonality to it. Now this can be a good thing, but to some it can be a bad, depending on what your personal preference and taste is. Also depends on how much you want to alter the sound. So, as y'all know, the sound I like is a warm, sensual sounds. I like very full forward mids, slight up curvature to the the upper bass range, and I want treble to be clean. I want it to sparkle, but I don't want it to be piercing. If it has to roll off a little bit soon, that's fine. Just don't give me that artificial treble, because otherwise it's just, that's not good. But a lot of people, and sometimes myself included, they want an amp to be very, very transparent, which means they don't want to have any kind of alteration or coloration to the sound. because, like me, I buy the headphones based on what I like in sound. I could not give a flying fart what reviews say a headphone sounds like, how great this headphone is, how this is the headphone everyone must have. I care about what my opinion is on that headphone sound. If I like it, if it made me truly enjoy the sound, that's what I want. I want the headphone for its sound, not anything else. So I like that sound. So my amp or my source material, more often I don't want it to touch that. I do not want it to touch that at all. Now, it can accentuate it, which this with the Aune B1 does. It accentuates the sound and the warmth very, very well. Now, say I have I'll use my IMs, my Klipsch X7 IMs. They don't go that well with this. Now, this can play well with hypersensitive ears. It worked beautifully with my Hermes, but the warmer tone, it kind of offset the overall signature of the Klipsch X7s. Now, some of you may enjoy that, because I have heard a couple of my viewers say that the Klipsch is a bit bright, and it is. It's a very bright earphone, but the highs are stunning. So beautiful are the highs. And this would kind of emphasize the bass a little bit more than what some would want. But that's just the thing with some amps. So listen to it and get your own opinions. The output power, to kind of finish with the sound of it, the output power never once had an issue. I think I already touched on that, but even with my Sennheiser HD650s on high gain, I kept this very comfortably. That's all the way up about here, somewhere around this range here, which is between the 40% and 60%, somewhere in that range. Now, my phone was not maxed out. It does work in collaboration with the phone and the volume sources. So if my phone's turned all the way up, even if this doesn't move, the volume will go up. But never once I have an issue with the power. This little guy, it was $200, and it is amazing for $200. The amp output on this, and just the quality, it really breathed into the headphones or IMs. Just beautiful. A phone cannot do what this does. So I would honestly, personally, I would recommend this guy to anyone. Anyone wanting a portable platform who already has a good DAC, because this is not a DAC, this is an amp only. Amp only. But I would recommend this to anyone if you already have a phone or you want a smaller profile. You don't want to carry around like the DAP, the Aune, and this together. If you want a smaller profile, this was right up your alley. So, in conclusion, guys, solid build. Great price per quality ratio. Like I said, it's about $200 depending where you shop around at. Wonderful sound, very efficient, very user-friendly, and actually a really good battery life. But that's it for the review of the Aune B1 headphone amp. If you liked the video, please hit that like button. I greatly appreciate your support, and it's all your all support over the last, almost a year now, that I've been able to go from hardly anything to getting all these products I have. And I still have a couple more to unbox and show for you guys. If you have any questions about anything, hit me up in the comments, guys. I reply to everyone, and I truly love hearing from you. Talk to me. Don't just say, oh, hey, here's this, and that. Tell me about yourselves. Tell me what you like. Let me know about you, please. But if you really enjoy the content or want to keep yourself on the field in, just tighten smash that subscribe button. Keep yourself on the field in. And as always, my name's Army-Firedawg. It's been a pleasure, but most importantly, guys, stay safe.